Hello and welcome to episode 236 of Ask MandR Productions, a series where I answer your questions. If you have a question you want to answer on next week's episode, make sure you leave it down in the comment section below, leave a like on the video while you're down there. This week's episode is sponsored by Pantasy Brick and their beautiful model that we have behind us. We'll talk a little bit more about later in the video. As usual, you guys have given me a great slate of questions, so let's hop into it with our first one from Dathomir Pizza Girl, who says, it's kind of sad seeing LEGO trying to make a ton of money off the death of Chadwick Boseman. And this is definitely a topic that has been brought up with the recent reveal of the Black Panther bust. Of course, the actor that played the Black Panther tragically passed away to cancer a couple years back, and this set coming out 2 years later times out poorly from a consumer perspective of looking at a company perhaps capitalizing off the death of the actor. And I 1000% understand a lot of people picking that up and seeing that as it may be the case, and it very well could be. However, the designer of the Black Panther set was on the LEGO subreddit like the day it was revealed, defending himself for both the design and some of the choices. And of course, he defended the idea that this was made solely because the actor died. And I believe him when he says it wasn't the case and that this was in development beforehand. He seems like someone that's very passionate about his work, and at least from what I was reading, a little bit down about the reception of the set, which, I mean, you can't win them all. Some sets aren't going to be received as well as others. But to the point of, is LEGO trying to make money off the death of Chadwick Boseman? I don't believe so. The designer says that's not the case. You are more than welcome to believe so, but you know me, if I thought it was the case, I'd probably have a whole video about it, and I don't believe it at all. Stephen V says, would you ever consider changing your scoring review system to be more competitive like the big prez himself, Dave Portnoy from Barstool/1Bite Reviews? So my review scoring system is really bare bones. Basically at the end of a video, I'm just like, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. There's not honestly too much that goes into the out of 10 score at the end, when maybe there should be. I put a lot more into the scoring system of my comparisons, like pitting one set against another straight up, and I found that, I think, has been very successful. I think a lot of people enjoy that type of thing. For reviews, I just felt like it was a nice thing to kind of tack on. I think most people are just coming to it to see what I have to say about the set or see what the set is about, and that's kind of it. Now, I do like your idea, and I may work on implementing something like this for 2023 when some of the big changes take place that I've kind of been hinting towards. I'd totally love to have a name for it and everything, and it's got its own little logo and, you know, a little bit more fun than just a 9 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, but we'll see. I don't know what to put here. Says, because of the rumored 2023 File First Battle Pack, do you think that LEGO will continue to make more clone battle packs / sequel battle packs, or do you think that this is just due to the popularity of the first File First Battle Pack? I feel like clone battle packs have not been produced a lot recently in favor of Imperial era battle packs, and you wouldn't be wrong. There have been a ton of Stormtrooper style battle packs in the last, I don't know, 5 years versus Clone Troopers, which I feel like have been less. And at that, one of the main Clone Trooper battle packs in the last 5 years literally included 2 Jedi, which ruined any real army building potential there. So I think it's twofold here. I think that this new File First Battle Pack absolutely only exists because of the overwhelming popularity of the first File First Battle Pack. To me, there's no question in my mind that this set doesn't exist without the first one. That also being said, I don't know why they wouldn't continue to make clone battle packs. They have been popular in the past, and they are extremely popular right now. It would be a stupid decision not to continue to make them, but we're talking 2, 3, 4 years down the line. And, you know, we don't even know everything about the first half of 2023 yet. One of the things I'm actually really disappointed in with 2023 is that we're not back to the 2 battle packs a year thing. And that to me really sucks. 2 battle packs a year was always a great number, and now they've really dwindled it down to 1. It's kind of sad. We have so many different things you could do. You can have a clone battle pack, go against a droid battle pack. Haven't had that in a while. You can also release, in conjunction with the Andor show, a Death Trooper Stormtrooper battle pack that, you know, it doesn't have to have anything to do with the other battle pack, right? You can also just have 2 separate battle packs. So I feel like we're missing something as far as battle packs go. They've really, that January wave that used to be so great every year, literally this year, the January wave, I think, is 3 sets. It's kind of sad to get 3 sets in January for the main line, a microfighter, a battle pack, and a TIE bomber. I don't know, I feel like there should be more there, and there's not, and another battle pack would help bolster that lineup. General Patton 123 says, is it worth working in the LEGO store for the discount? And if you don't know, the discount of a LEGO store is 50% for employees that have been working there for more than 3 months, I think, which is a phenomenal discount. It is part of the reason why if I had gone to UCF for college in Orlando, I would have desperately wanted to work at the LEGO store for part of that reason, 50% discount. But also, to me, if I had had the opportunity, if I had a LEGO store near me, if I was gonna pick the place that I I did work at for minimum wage, or a LEGO store for minimum wage or thereabouts, like, I'm picking the LEGO store because it's a pretty clean, sterile environment. Like, there's not a lot that can go wrong in there. I just think it's a great starter job if you're in late high school years or early college years. Like, I don't see anything wrong with it, especially if you're a big fan of LEGO and you get the discount. Like, it seems like a pretty big win-win for something to get you some extra cash while you're just getting started in life, basically. Tyler Marshall says, hypothetically, you owned a 2003 Cloud City sealed in the box. As a collector, would you need to buy a separate Cloud City Boba Fett minifig to add to your minifig collection? I think so. I think for my personal collection, I would have to have at least one of everything out of the box. My sealed collection is secondary to the opened collection that I own. So yeah, I think so. If you're going through this, I would. It's a hard thing though, because especially in that example, it is so stupidly expensive. Like, we're talking $5,000 for the sealed set and then $2,000 just to have the minifig if you want it. But yeah, the way I personally collect, I would have to have them separately. Now let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Pantasy. They make building block sets, including a vintage 1960s television set, which the ocean mode on is just spectacular. They have an officially licensed Sherlock Holmes set, and to celebrate the 70th anniversary of Astro Boy, they sent me their originally designed Astro Boy building block set. The all-black box and 18+ rating stand out for adult collectors. Opening said box releases all 1,285 pieces inside for your building pleasure. 3 words. Pink brick separator. Their building instructions are familiar and easy to follow. The completed model is a beautiful display piece, starting with its black base and arm that keep Astro Boy looking fresh and balanced on display. You don't have to worry about it falling over. That's nice. This buildable Astro Boy features 10 movable joints. On the exposed mechanical side, you'll find incredible details constructed with chromed bricks for a shiny look. The human side is smooth with printed bricks for impressively accurate detail. You can get your own Pantasy Astro Boy on Amazon.com right now, and if you use code 15MNRP, you'll get 15% off the retail price. You can check it out right now with the link below. Back to the questions. PJ Bricks watched the new Andor trailer and says, do you think LEGO would build the new ship that will appear in Andor? Referring to the one that has the red lasers on the side, how do you think they would represent the lasers? So it seems like there's no more Andor sets coming out in like the January to May wave of LEGO Star Wars for next year. So honestly, I don't expect to really see anything else from Andor. Fingers crossed we do, because I want more stuff from it. But like, it seems like with some of these shows, LEGO's gonna do a set or two and just move on. It happened with Book of Boba Fett, and it seems like it's going to happen with Andor, which to me is sad. I mean, who's to say 5-10 years down the line, anything can happen. That being said, it'd be a pretty wild build. It was the first thing I thought of when I saw it. I was like, if this was a LEGO set, how would they even do these like infinitely extending arms? But I think the real answer comes from sets like the Death Star that they've done, where you have a laser that extends infinitely otherwise, but they just stop it at a certain point with bricks. I'm sure it would be a bit sturdier than the lasers on the Death Star that can fall off super easily from those Death Star playsets in the UCS set. I would think like a white or black tube piece inside of trans clear red cylindrical pieces. Dakota wants to know my best guess as to why LEGO has stopped using physical waist capes, but they still use the physical shoulder piece. And I think there's a pretty obvious answer to this that's really unfortunate, because we really could live in a world where they include both in sets like this. However, if we look at the potential upcoming Phase 2 Rex, he's got no waist cape, at least in the video game, but in the video game you would think waist cape because there's no limitations, so he should have one. We also have no waist cape on the 187th Commander that is in the Republic fighter tank, and we also have no waist capes on the newer Snowtrooper minifigures. Like, the waist capes are just completely missing. So in the cases where the figure doesn't have a waist cape, it does seem that the figure is supposed to be sitting within the set. So they don't include the waist cape, because if you have the waist cape, you can't really sit the figure down like on the fighter tank or in the AT-AT, or in Captain Rex's case, maybe inside of Captain Rex's Y-Wing, right? There's some use cases there for the figure that aren't going to be very usable if they have a waist cape on. And that makes sense from like a play perspective for kids. You just can't have waist capes on figures that are supposed to sit down on studs. It doesn't work, and it makes a ton of sense. As opposed to the 2020 Airborne Trooper that does have a waist cape, he has nowhere to sit in General Grievous's Starfighter. He's just a standalone figure within the set, and so it makes sense that he has a waist cape because he's got no seat and he won't be sitting down anywhere. Like, it works, right? So if anything, I think that is the only justifiable reason for no waist capes. If LEGO's reasoning is saving money, then that is a bogus reason, because they just increase prices to consumers. So like, seeing them cut corners anywhere is very, very, very bad optics, because prices went up, so the quality should be either following that or at the very least staying the same, not going down. And not having waist capes is worse than having waist capes. The solution to this, to make everyone happy, I think, is to just include the waist capes even when you have a print of a waist cape, because the waist cape, the physical one, will just cover it up and it doesn't matter. Like, I think of this like maybe Kylo Ren's helmet in 2015, where they had the helmet physically, and then under the helmet, they just had a picture of his helmet. Like, you could basically do the same thing with waist capes. You have the physical waist cape, and then under the waist cape, you have the print of the waist cape if you want to use, or kids especially will want to use the figure to sit somewhere or play with or whatever. Mystery Bros says, with all the new helmet attachments coming in the file for a specialist pack, do you think we'll get Bly in an upcoming set? You say all the new helmet attachments. There's only one new helmet attachment. All the other ones are old ones, just in different colors. And that would be the macro binoculars, and those of course are what Bly uses on his helmet. And so yeah, I think this definitely puts the possibility of a Bly figure way higher than it was before. Personally, I would expect to see Bly in like 2025 with the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, because I think he's in there killing Aayla Secura. I think he's part of that. Bly could also be a great fit for like a 327th clone turbo tank or something, or AT-OT. Like, there's a lot out there that they could do. The Lego Brit wants to know what happened to the rumored Atat Pilot helmet set from earlier this year. They assumed it was postponed from 2022 to 2023, but is it canceled entirely? And that would be the case. It does seem like the Atat Pilot isn't coming anytime at all, anytime soon. You know, who knows, 5 years down the line, they could always just bring it back or make another one, whatever. But as far as that rumor goes, it did seem like it was a legitimate rumor, and the story that I heard, and I actually don't remember if I was allowed to say this or not, but we're gonna say it anyway. What I heard through the grapevine is apparently sometimes like reps from stores will be shown different products early in development or something, and then they get to pick. Apparently there's something like that, and that is what happened here. So like the Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker, and Atat Pilot were like shown to, I don't know, whomever executive or group of people, or I don't know. This is like probably fifth-hand information that I was getting. I guess the Luke helmet was picked instead of the Atat Pilot helmet because they were only gonna do 2 mainline helmet sets and then the store exclusive as the Dark Trooper. Something like that apparently is the story behind it. It's another one of those things that I'd love to be able to ask like a LEGO Star Wars designer like Jens about and be like, yeah, what is the case here? How does this work? Are there ever things that are picked, and like, is there like a system for this? Or like, there's clearly has to be something behind the scenes like that where stuff is picked out by retailers at some point, because certainly with store exclusives like the Dark Trooper helmet, I think that stores get a little bit of influence in what is made exactly as a store exclusive. That's what I've heard. Again, probably like fifth-hand information, so who knows how reliable it is, but it just might be the case, and that's the best answer I have for you. Looks like no Atat Pilot helmet for the foreseeable future, though. Bowser wants to know if I think they'll ever do a LEGO NFL collaboration like they did with the MLB. No, and for pretty obvious reasons to me. The NFL, unfortunately, is marred in controversy, and no, I'm not talking about fake controversy like deflated footballs. I'm talking about real controversy like people like Deshaun Watson and Tyreek Hill and Aaron Hernandez. There's unfortunately some very real luggage attached to players in the NFL that is really hard to work around, especially for a company like LEGO. Plus you have the whole CTE thing, and I think that's a whole nother side of it. But I think from my perspective, the biggest reason why it won't happen is the player drama. And it's not fake soap opera drama. It's like real stuff that's happened that in some cases should probably be in jail for, right? So when you have stuff like that going on in the league, it's really hard to make that pitch to a company like LEGO, or for a company like LEGO to go to the NFL and want to do that. So I would guess not, which sucks because I love football, but I also see why. JB Sargent says, do you think there's a possibility for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi that we get a UCS Jabba's sail barge? I didn't get the original, but a UCS version would be great and would lend well to minifigure scale. Do you think they would include a Slave Leia? I talked about this not too long ago. I don't think Slave Leia is ever coming back in any way, shape, or form. Hut Slayer Leia, whatever. Just don't think it's going to be happening. I think Disney really shut that one down, which is unfortunate. It's part of Star Wars. Just make it. Like, I don't understand why we can't have a lady in a bikini as a toy. Either way, as far as Jabba's sail barge, next year is going one of two ways in my eyes. And it would be great if we could get both, but I would be shocked if we got both, because I think both would need so many minifigs that it would suck up so much of the minifigure allotment of LEGO Star Wars that you can't have both. We're either gonna get a UCS Jabba's sail barge that's much like the UCS AT-AT, that is like minifigure scale or minifigure scale-ish, where it plays with figures and it's got tons of different rooms and compartments, or we're gonna get a Master Builder Series Battle of Endor, which to me, it's the one that I've been calling for a few years, and I really think next year is the year for a Master Builder Series Endor set. It's so overdue. It's something that I think a lot of people really want, but so is a sail barge. But I think the Endor thing makes more sense to me. To some degree, we have the foundation laid with the small ATST set this year because they can continue to reuse those 3 figures, which saves figure slots by having 2 sets using the same figures. So as much as I'd love the UCS Jabba sail barge, and I'm sure it's something they've given some thought to, and it's something that we could see 5 or 10 years down the line, it's ultimately something that I see being passed up next year in favor of a really big Endor bunker Ewok village type of playset. Anyway, if you have a question you want answered on next week's episode, leave it down in the comment section below. Let me know what UCS or Master Builder Series sets you expect next year. Perhaps they do tie into that 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, or perhaps they don't at all, because I still think we'll get one set that isn't tied to the movie and one set that is. Thanks again to this week's sponsor, Pantasy. Again, using the link below and code 15MNRP, you'll get 15% off your very own buildable Astro Boy for your display. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Peace.